Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again as we continue in this deep dive into developing your presence, your leadership presence. And we have our PRES model, P being present, being in the moment, giving your attention to. R being reaching out and connecting with somebody. E being expressiveness. How do you bring what it is that you're communicating to life? And then finally today we're going to go to S, which is self-knowledge. And Andre, you and I have had some wonderful conversations through the years around the importance of self-knowledge and sharing some of our own insights at times into self-knowledge. So can you set us up and just talk about this self-knowledge or self-knowing and why that is so important, such an important component to having presence?
Yeah, thank you, Darren. And it's interesting because this is one of the ones that are most forgotten about when people think of this idea of what presence is about self-knowing. It's the ability to accept yourself, be authentic, to kind of reflect your values and your decisions and your actions. It's about being vulnerable because really, if you think about it, authenticity, as you've probably picked up already, is the nucleus of everything around presence. It's not about faking it. It's about being authentic, which is what drew me to this work in the first place. And this takes you into the deepest level of being authentic, which is this ability to kind of know yourself. I saw a funny quote by Will Ferrell. You all know Will Ferrell, the actor, and from movies, stand-up and all those sorts of things. And he said this, which always struck me. He says, before you marry a person, you should first make them use a computer with slow internet to see who they really are.
Love it.
Don't you just love that? It cracks me up.
Yeah.
And really, it's about these masks that we wear from childhood. We keep putting on these masks to protect ourselves. You know, incidents happen at home and siblings, at school and jobs, and we get hurt. And how do we stop ourselves from getting hurt? We put on a mask. And we end up going through life with a lot of masks on our face. This bit on self-knowing is about starting to remove some of those masks. And there's a great metaphor that I'd like to share with you. There's a sculptor called Giuseppe Pannoni, Italian sculptor. And some years ago, when I was in Toronto in Canada visiting my brother, I went into the art gallery of Ontario, and I was looking at these sculptures, and I came across this one, which was pretty interesting, which was a tree, the trunk of a tree. And what Pannoni had done is he'd left the trunk, but in the middle, he had carved out all of the elements to identify the original sapling. It took him years to do that. And it's a perfect metaphor for what we're talking about, because in terms of removing these masks, removing the bark from the trees to come down to the authentic center, the sapling, that's kind of what self-knowing and self-knowledge is all about. Yeah?
Very nice.
It is about this notion of kind of being authentic, but also to accept who you are with all of the imperfections that you have. They say vulnerability is the new confidence, and I really believe it, because so often in the world of Insta and photos and all of the things that we do in social media, it's actually driving us away from this notion of accepting yourself. The edited me that I put up, the 50 pictures I take to get the one that shows me at the right angle with the right light, that's the edited me. It's not the authentic me. And I think that's what we're talking about. So as you can see, authenticity sits at the nucleus of everything we do with presence. Be open to the mistakes that you're going to make. And one of the things I would say to everyone and people I coach, Darren, I know you as well, is you always underestimate, well, most people, 90%, there's probably some narcissists who go on the other side, but most people undervalue all of the skills and strengths and abilities that they actually have. You know,
absolutely.
There's a saying which I love that says a butterfly cannot see its own wings. it has no idea of how beautiful it really is. And I think that is so true to most people I meet. There are certainly a few who overemphasize who they think they are, but most people I meet underestimate who they are. And hence, they put these masks on to cover up the beauty of what it is. True presence sits from within. It's about revealing who you are. You reveal your presence. And it's about bringing out that sapling, if you like, the authentic you. And because your strength comes from there, not from putting on things and editing yourself. People see through that. So that's self-knowing. Darren, any thoughts?
Andre, thank you for taking us on this journey of better understanding what leadership presence is and the P.R.E.S model, and in particular today, the self-knowing. And you tell a wonderful story that I think helps to tie all of this together. So if you could you share that story with us?
So U2, most of you listening to this would have heard of the band, if not loved the band called U2. Started off in 1976 in Ireland. And they were basically four young friends from school who got together, and the friendship was the basis of them coming together. And they formed this band. And as they went through their career and they started to make music and started to get some fame, the glue that kept them together was really the relationships they shared. Now, each one of them went through massive issues, and the band members were the supporters that helped them through. Bono lost his mother. Edge had some real issues. Larry Mullen, the drummer, had serious issues as well. And all the different times, and was the band that came together. Adam Clayton, who's the bass player, probably had the worst of it. And he went through a really deep depression and got caught up in drugs and alcohol, and really took him to the edge of life. And the band came around and supported him. Fast forward 11 years, they were playing at an arena. They were big now. They just released Joshua Tree. The number one song they had was a song called Pride, which you've probably heard, which is about Martin Luther King. One man comes in the name of love, one man comes and goes. I can't sing it. I'm not going to try.
Very good. And as a side note, played that song in the cover band in the 80s, just also to date myself a little bit there. But yes,
okay.
Fantastic song.
I did not know that, Darren. I did not know you played that song. Go. Okay, so Pride was the song about Martin Luther King. So they were playing in this massive stadium in Tempe in Arizona, 100,000 people. The day before they were going on, they got a death threat that said, if you play that song, we're going to take out Bono, the singer. And so they went to the FBI, and the FBI said, there's nothing we can do. You should call off the show because we cannot arrange to have security at such short notice. So the band came together, and they had this moment of truth where they had to figure out what they were going to do, right? And they decided, because of their values and principles, that they were going to go ahead and sing the song. They were going to do it, and they were going to close the set with that song. Bono tells the story that they were all really anxious. The anxiety was peaking, and it came to that song, and Bono was so fearful that this could be the last, something's going to happen to him, that he decided to sing the song with his eyes closed. So he held the mic and he sang that song. Now, there's one phrase or one verse in that song, which is early morning, April 4th, shots ring out across the Memphis sky. Free at last, they can take your life, but they can't take your pride. Which is all about Martin Luther King, right? So he sings that song and nothing happens. And when he opens his eyes, he is shocked to see that standing in front of him for the entire song was Adam Clayton, the bass player, with his big bass guitar, ready to take the bullet for his mate. So if you think about what's that got to do with presence, it's got everything to do with present. It's being present in the moment. You talked about that. It's reaching out and connecting with people, with their audience, and with each other as a band authentically. It's being able to express themselves again in the way that was congruent with everything that they were doing. And it's about self-knowing. It's about, this is who we are, and these are our values, and this is what we stand up with. So that hopefully brings the whole idea of presence together in that one story, Darren.
Outstanding story. Andre, thank you. How does that not get you right there? Thank you for sharing that. Nothing to add on that. We just really thank you for sharing your presence with all of us, and would encourage all of you who are listening today, go out and share your presence with someone or with the people that are in your orbit, that are in your community, because the world can most certainly use that right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be well.